So when we started, we actually grew probably to 10 or 12 people within the first year. We actually had full project managers and everything, and we were doing a lot of Y2K projects. Then what happened is Y2K was done, everybody was patched, everybody bought stuff, and the industry got really, really tough. So projects were hard to come by. We actually ended up laying off a couple of people, but we were small enough and kind of nimble enough at that point where we could still change directions and add other services. And we survived where a lot of the companies that were big players in the industry, bigger players in the Chicago industry, at that time did not survive. And a lot of the names that you'll see when we started are no longer around. We're one of the few that were able to, I think just because we were so new as well, that we weren't feeding off manufacturers' leads and we weren't feeding off of all that. We were actually kind of out there, running our heads into the doors looking for leads, the hard way. And when the leads from vendors dried up, a lot of these other guys that didn't know how to fend off for themselves kind of ended up going out of business, where for us it was kind of business as usual. We were still doing it. I think some of the best things that we've ever done was not to get acquired, because many of the people over the years that wanted to buy us ended up going out of business. And we always thought, like, we were looking at their business plans and we didn't really agree with them, which is part of the reason why we didn't want to be acquired. And it's interesting because these guys all had VC backing and funding and all kinds of money, and it was just Jeff and I self-funding the company. And it turns out, we had maybe some more insight into the industry than some of the larger people that thought some of their ideas were going to work, where we just didn't see how it was going to. So we've been able to survive kind of on that as well. So one of the things I like about RKON and our culture that we've been able to develop over a very long time is, we use the word internally that we're a family a lot. But with that, we hold people accountable. Like I think a real family should, right? There's always the uncle kind of in the back room that's, drinking too much at the holiday party, right? But he's part of the family and we all love him, and he's got to be held sometimes accountable for his actions, but we still love him no matter what, right? So within our family, people are accountable for the job, they're accountable to each other, but we do fun things like Fridays, we bring lunch in for everybody. Really, the goal behind that was to get everybody at a large table to talk together and be able to interact with each other and talk about what's going on with their families, because a lot of times with our job, people are spread all over all week, sometimes even out of the state, so we don't really get to catch up with people. Sometimes people might not know a new person for 2 months, right, because they're out of town. But this gives us a way to interact with people. I think we have a lot of different events that are more on the personal basis than some companies have. And some of the things I think prove we're good at kind of the family concept is we've had probably 8 to 10 people that have left the company for one reason or another at some point in time that have come back and we've rehired them. Again, I think one of the things that we're all proud of at RKON is we've brought numerous people into RKON that have no IT experience at all. We've got people with history degrees, marketing degrees that we brought in at an entry level, and within years they've been able to learn so much knowledge and gain so much industry experience that within years some of those guys are going from entry level to making 6-figure salaries. So we put them on a really good career path where maybe prior they didn't have one. And that helps everybody. That's helping them to be in an industry where they'll always find a job, and it helps us to, fill these roles and allow people to actually grow with us and stay here a very long time. We have a lot of employees that have been here over 10 years, which in this industry is kind of unheard of, because it's too easy to find a job in the computer industry and too competitive sometimes, and it's always there's always someone that's going to wave a few more dollars at you to jump. But we've built a lot of loyalty with helping these people change careers and making a decent wage while they're doing it. So that's one thing that I'm pretty proud of, because that's actually changed people's life progression and where they're going to go.